Hello, hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the live stream. I've been playing around with my mic settings a little bit, try to get a little bit of a nicer sound from the mic, and also you can actually see it in the scene now. It's right here. And before, I didn't have that. So now, hopefully, it sounds a little cleaner, a little crisper, and so I'm pretty excited about that. Most of the time, whenever I do stuff like this, I kind of tend to keep my my microphone off, but well, I mean the Blender stuff, I kind of keep it on. Hello there in the chat. Hello, how are you? So yeah, I mean I'm going to be working on my character tonight. Obviously, he's not in the best shape, literally, not yet anyway. So I'll be working on this, and I'm not really sure. I'm still kind of figuring things out with what I'm doing here on this channel. I think this past week is pretty much solidified for me that I'm doing a lot of game dev stuff, which is really cool. That's kind of the primary purpose of this channel. But I've talked about it before, where this has been something of mine where I'm trying to chase kind of two things at once. I'm trying to do Unity and I'm trying to do Blender together. So we'll see as the channel evolves. Feel free to let me know in the chat if you prefer one way or the other, how things go. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start working on this guy here. I haven't given him a name yet. We'll see what we name him. I'm not really sure what we're going to name him yet. I got to get my references up here so that way I can see what I'm doing. And then we'll go from there. Okay. And if for some reason you can't hear me very well, please let me know in the in the chat. I do keep an eye on the chat for the most part, but I do think I got the mic working just the way I want it to, so that's pretty cool. But I am definitely open to feedback because it's the only way I know to improve. So yeah, feel free to let me know. All right. All right, so for starters, I'm going to get working on these arms here. And then try to get these arms going. And then we'll work on the rest of him. And we'll see where we go from there. One thing I want to point out here is I have a mirror on right now, and the advantage of that is if I'm over here working and I'm looking over here, you see where I have my pointer at right here, I can actually use this. You can see the little blue dot on the other side. Even though I'm working on this side, I'm actually looking on the other side, and it's actually very helpful for stuff like this because you can easily tell, even though you're working on one, what it should look like. And so that's kind of a nice little thing to keep in mind if you're working on character modeling like this. I have to fix that in the pen settings. I don't know why I keep doing that. Every time I accidentally hit the there's like a little button on my pen here, and every time I hit it, it just messes me up. So I have to keep an eye on that and figure out what the deal is with that. Let me take a quick second here to make sure that I'm just going to turn it off for now, because right now it just keeps on messing me up. The nice thing is, I'll just show it here on the screen so that way y'all can see. I have, this is the Huion, that's the brand, right? So this is probably the thing that's messing me up. I keep hitting these. And see, this one here is undefined. I'm just going to I'm setting everything to no function right now because I really don't use any of these. I use my mouse. I keep my mouse over here, and I have a really awesome Logitech mouse. Let's see if I can get it to, if you see that on the screen there, the Logitech. And I would highly recommend, if you're a digital artist, to grab one of these and get familiar with it. It took me about a week, maybe 2 weeks, to get completely comfortable using a trackball mouse. The advantage is you have a lot of precision whenever you're working on a piece of art. You just kind of use your thumb, and it makes everything way smoother for working. At least in my opinion, it does. And I had been on the fence about it for a long time, and I talked to my wife about it, and I'm super happy I did that, because it has made a big difference for me. I just keep it like down here, right next to my drawing tablet, and then as I'm drawing, I just it's really short, like a short gap between where the screen is at and where the actual mouse is at, so it makes it really nice. I highly recommend it. It just works really well for me. It might not work the best for you, but for me it's been working awesome. So I think the one thing I wouldn't do is I wouldn't use the trackpad on your laptop if you use a laptop, because that is just asking for some trouble there. I think we got to get a better side view of this guy, because right now he's got like really jaggedy elbows, and he doesn't need to necessarily have jaggedy elbows here. Also, that shoulder needs a little bit of tweaking too. Like that. And we'll get that a little bit better defined here. Maybe let me just do one of these numbers at the moment. Just trying to define the major muscle groups. Get into some little banter here about the new Wolverine game that's coming out. I'm not a big fan of the character modeling they did with that. I don't. Now, I'm going to say this first of all. I am not anywhere near as good as the character modelers in that game. But I really prefer a stylized approach to characters. And I mean, the ultra like realism that they go for in these comic book characters right now, I don't think it's very appealing to most folks. And I get why these companies, like, they have this big incentive right now to want to do this kind of stuff, but like I personally think that most fans are like, dude, what are you doing? Like, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel here? Like, you could just kind of keep things stylized and people would be happy with that. But they've got stakeholders and things they've got to do, and I don't know, just for me, like, I'm very much an indie kind of a person, not a big fan of like big corporations. And I don't know, I mean, personally, me, I probably won't be supporting that. I don't really care for it. Just trying to get those like bigger shapes defined here at this point. The forearm, the bicep, the tricep, the elbow. Trying to work through how he's going to end up looking. I definitely want him to look leaner than what he does right now, so I'll probably, decrease the scale a little bit on this arm when I'm done with it. But it's got to start with, the major shapes at first, and then grow from there. And I'm starting to see the things take shape, so that's pretty cool. And I've seen other people like online where they take and when they're building out their characters, they'll actually pull them in like the muscle groups one at a time. I think eventually I do want to learn how to do that because I think it might make my life a little easier. But for now, I just kind of like this whole freelance kind of loose sculpting thing, and it helps me out with understanding the different geometry of how the human body is shaped. And I find that it's working out pretty well. I might not be 100% one-on-one, like one-for-one on everything, but for the most part, I find that I can kind of mess around in it. Oh, see, I hate when it does that. So, let's see. I'm pulling that arm there like that. Bring in the wrists a bit. I see the hands starting to take shape there a bit. That's pretty cool looking. I think one thing that's tripping me up though is his abdomen. I gotta get this all working the way that I want it to. All right. I'm gonna start defining where the waistline should be based on where that is at there. I need to figure out, and like in real life, I did this the other day too. Like, I need to figure out, like, when you stand up, you got your arms, and they go a little bit past your pockets. So about halfway. Sorry, you probably couldn't hear any of that. I was talking as I was standing up, and I have this mic all like tuned up and everything now, but the arms definitely don't go quite low enough, and so that needs a little bit of tweaking. Or I have to decide. Let's work on the abdomen first, and then we'll work on the other stuff. All right. So start to cut these shapes in. Okay. Just loose shapes at this point. Okay. I think one thing is I need to pull this down a bit, broaden it out. Okay. Bring this out a bit. And I can always adjust it. All right, so we want to flatten this out. Like that. Yeah, it's pretty good. And this, I think, probably should get pulled up just a hair. Like that. Like that. And maybe flattened out even more, just a hair. See, I'm actually edging it upwards as I'm doing this, and that's not what I want to do. It's got to be clearly defined, and that's sometimes when you have these shapes, quite difficult to get it right. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and then we'll just take and do try and just smooth that out a bit. There we go. I mean, that's much better defined, I think. And although that messed me up a bit. Let's try and smooth that out a bit. Or trying to. There needs to be. Needs to be. I kind of want to take it back. I had it to a point that I liked it better earlier. Another thing too. There's this right here. That's another point that is a big defining feature. Now that I'm looking at the reference that I'm looking at, and this as well here. That's pretty good. I mean, as far as like the low poly version for now, anyway. I mean, I got other things I got to do, so I will come back to this. I might do some more there. I don't know. I just want to get the general shapes at this point. Okay. So adding instead of subtracting. I was subtracting and now I'm just adding, and this is definitely more so working out for me. And this is good to know. The bulking up. I mean, it kind of works like in real life. Like, you're not subtracting when you're adding muscle. You know, another thing too is it's true what they say about the more you practice, the better you get, and you just kind of have to keep at it. Like, and sometimes it gets really hard, like, because sometimes you feel like you get frustrated because you might take a day off or take 2 days off or something. Something happens, life gets in the way, somebody gets sick, kids get sick, and then it's like kind of feels like you take like 10 steps backwards. But in reality, you just it's, I feel like it's like the Lord is testing you to see how serious you are about it, and so sometimes that's all you need to do is just keep at it, and you'll get there. Like, I mean, I'm not there yet, and I always feel tested, but I am always trying, even when I'm late. Like tonight, I was late for this live stream, and that's just because family comes first. I got to take care of my family, and that's what matters most to me. So sometimes it's tricky. A lot of zooming in and zooming out, huh? Really, for real. Like, you gotta constantly like strike a balance between what you're doing here, and that's just the name of the game. That's looking super cool. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, so now I need to figure out how I'm gonna get this pulled down correctly. It's gonna require some stretching, but that's okay. All right. All right. Now he will have fingers and all that. That's gonna be a job in and of itself. Like that'll be some work. So I've got to get that working correctly. I guess for first thing. His proportions are definitely a little bit off, aren't they? I mean, he just looks like his legs are either too small or his waist and his like neck, his head, his torso, and then his legs. And I don't know if I should shrink the torso upward a little bit or if I should make his legs just a little bit longer. I mean, when I did this, I set this to 6, but in reality it should be 8. So I'll be curious if I add, and you know what, hold on. So I'll be curious if I add 2 more. I mean, there's just no way. I don't think 8 is realistically the right number here, because if you do 8, and then one of these is equivalent to the same as his head, I just don't think that that's the smartest move to make here. I don't think that that's going to be the way we want to go with this. I think that we want to kind of keep him the size he is. But maybe I made the arms too long now. But see, when I put my arms down, I'm thinking I probably just need to make his legs just slightly longer. I don't think it needs to be 8, but I do think it needs to be just a little bit longer. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to make his legs just a little longer and see what that looks like. Worst case scenario, I just go backwards. I'm gonna save it just in case I mess something up. Just like a video game, you know, you gotta, if you mess, if you're gonna go fight the dragon, you know, you save the game and you come back. Yeah, I agree with you in the comments. A little bit of sunshine. I definitely agree with that. I just need to see if it's actually working or not. It's kind of weird. Like, oh, you know what it is? I have the wrong object selected. I'm gonna change this too, because this should actually just be character. All right, now we'll get somewhere. Now I can actually get to. Yeah, it didn't topo. And then just build up on that a little bit more. See where that gets us. So take a good zoom out here. I definitely feel like the proportions are a lot better now. So if you start here, it's about a little just underneath of this. This is where the arm starts, and then it ends. You got 1, 2, 3 blocks. And then this is about halfway through this. So you got 1, 2, almost 3. Let's see. I'm looking at the reference right now because I'm trying to figure out. It's hard to tell, honestly. It's really hard to tell. The only way that I think I'll be able to get it is if I think it probably does need to just be a little bit taller. Well, you know, I said earlier about how I don't like there to be references in the background. Maybe I'm standing corrected on that, because you know, when you got to do scale correctly, I think it does make sense here, because to eyeball it, see if you're correct or not. I mean, I just don't know. Sometimes you could do it and then everything else is gonna be out of whack. So it's kind of like, are you sure that's what you want to do? I don't know. So these abs definitely look a little off to me. I want to get that tweaked up just a hair. That'll work, at least for now. Strong looking guy. He's got some work to be done, but getting somewhere, and that makes me happy. All right. Well, it is Friday night, and I am going to, I think I'm going to call it a night for now, because I am tired. I know I didn't get quite an hour in, but at least I got some more progress made. And James Clear, Atomic Habits, you know, he always says about how you got to get at least 1% better every day. And I feel like I got at least 1% better today. I hit it every day this week. and I feel really good about it. So I'm happy. I think it'll be all right. Quitting tonight and then coming back fresh tomorrow with some more Unity game dev. Yeah, I definitely would be curious. Anybody watching, let me know in the chat about what your opinion is. If you like more of the Blender content, more of the Unity content. I'm definitely trying to figure out where I want to go with this stuff, and if I want to get focused in on the more the Blender stuff, or more focused in on the Unity stuff, or just kind of keep the split. I don't know where I'm going to go with it yet. I enjoy both, so we'll see how it goes. And eventually this rant will stop. Eventually I will figure out where it goes. It'll just happen. So, all right. See you all later, and have a good night.